Hey everyone, and welcome to the Mic'd Avengers podcast, where we focus on martial arts and action cinema, but definitely delve into much more. My name is Jason from Martial Arts Theater 3000. I've been a lifelong fan of martial arts movies from Bruce Lee to the Venom Mob, Bruceploitation, and everything in between.
My name's Dragon, aka the Fanatical Dragon on YouTube. I also write the Blu-ray reviews for Eastern Heroes magazine right here in the UK. I'm about 4 decades into this love affair with East Asian cinema, specifically action cinema. Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan and the Shaw brothers got me into Hong Kong films, but unlike my buddy Jason, I've seen a whole bunch of Japanese, Indonesian and South Korean action flicks too. So over the coming episodes, every so often, we're going to force feed him something he has not seen.
And I'm Shaun, also known as Foo for Thought. It all started for me at the tender age of 14, where I discovered Jackie Chan's Drunken Master. From there, I kind of delved into old school Kung Fu, and that has been my passion for 30 plus years now. I also started delving into all realms of Asian cinema, and I'm very happy to say that these days I have a pretty strong passion for kind of dark Korean thrillers. If you like what you hear and you're enjoying the podcast, please give us a like, share and subscribe. And please enjoy this episode of the Mic'd Avengers. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mic'd Avengers podcast. This is episode number, I have no idea. Does anyone else have a number to throw out?
19 or 20.
Oh, is it 20, this one? Okay. Those sultry voices that you heard in the background are my co-hosts for this wonderful episode, and that is Jason from Martial Arts Theater 3000. Hello, Jason.
How's it going, everyone?
And then we have the Fanatical Dragon himself. Hey, Dragon.
Ni hao. Hello.
Nice. So today we are going into the 90s and we are discussing what I think most people would consider a classic of the genre. Whether we consider it a classic today will be an interesting discussion. But we are discussing Quentin Tarantino's favorite Kung Fu movie, which is weird because it doesn't have a lot of feet in it. But it is his favorite, and it is Iron Monkey, 1993's Iron Monkey, starring Donnie Yen, I always get his name wrong, Yu Rongguang, very hard name to pronounce. And then a whole host of other people in there that you may know, like Yen Shi Kwan, and even Xiao Ho is in there. Mm-hmm. He pops up. So we're going to be delving into it, discussing our thoughts, feelings, our kind of journey with the movie and how we've evolved over the years, or whether we've evolved over the years. I know my tastes certainly have, but I'm going to throw it over to Dragon to give us a quick pair of synopses, if you've got them.
I do. I have two, but before we do that, we should say a few words regarding Tony Stella, who tragically passed away on the 1st of May, aged only 45, which is wild, because I think all of us are older than that now, and with no warning, no kind of pre-existing health condition, just literally passed away in his sleep, which is wild. I think for those that do know the name, you will know. For those that don't, he is maybe the most, or was now sadly, was maybe the most incredible kind of cover artist illustrator working in the physical media space, and had been for quite a few years. Just a phenomenal, insane body of work that he's kind of created over the last 2 or 3 decades that he was still kind of pulling from, adapting, revising, doing new versions of. So if you picked up Arrow's red version of the Bruce Lee box set, that is all adorned with his wonderful artwork. He did the Fistful of Dollars trilogy recently also for Arrow, and has been doing their Cinema City titles in the UK, which is heartbreaking to know that at a certain point we're going to run out of Tony's art. I'm not too sure how many he had in the can, but he was, by all accounts, just an absolute mastercraft of an artist, but also an incredible, magnificent human being. I kind of had the chance to interview him for the channel. Please go and check that out, because it's just 4 hours of just unfiltered Tony goodness. But he also guested on a bunch of different podcasts and was as passionate as talking about cinema as he was when illustrating it. So if you've not checked out his episodes of the Wrong Reel podcast, or the Film 89 podcast, or Pink Smoke, I think were the main ones that he usually went on, there's almost 60 hours worth of The Man to Remember and Buy on those shows. So do track them down. But yeah, he will be desperately missed.
Yeah, that's so sad. I just wanted to say, anyone listening, go into the description of this. I'm going to put Dragon's interview in the description of this episode. Great. And that's such a great job you did on that, Dragon. I mean, it just really captures.
Not much of an
I know what you're going to say.
I think I had like 60 questions written down. I think I asked maybe 2, maybe 3. Because once Tony's like an Energizer bunny. Once you wind up,
yeah.
Goes.
Well, it's funny because as you do the question, he can get the gist of it, and just he's like, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to hop in here. I just agree with so much he said in that. And when talking about his pushback against the digital for the art and everything, he's such a purist view of it, and there's just so much to dive into there. This is a great glimpse into his approach to his art and everything. I think everyone should definitely check out Dragon's interview of Tony, and man, R.I.P. It's such a seismic loss for physical media. It is just, he encapsulates the movie so well in his art, and it has such a vintage throwback style that type of his, I guess that'd be his oil paintings is the majority of the releases, right?
I think he jumped around a lot, but he used to get a real kick out of the fact that some people would kind of, because he was always very mysterious, like he never put his face out there, and he would see people writing comments about loving his work, but they'd say, oh yeah, I really love this guy who worked in the 1950s, Tony Stella, and and you can find that very much amusing, because after he passed, I saw speculations on his age ranging from early 30s to late 70s and everything in between, because he was very much a man of mystery. But he was 45. But yeah, I mean, I think hundreds and hundreds of different covers for different releases. I think he got way up there in terms of numbers, because he did work for Arrow, for Eureka, for Vinegar Syndrome, for Film Movement, for countless others, as well as doing book covers and vinyl as well. So he was kind of very prolific.
Incredible. Yeah, I mean, we're speaking to the audience for a second. Jason and I are currently looking at Dragon, and I can see the Bruce Lee set on the shelf, and just seeing how much it stands out with his artwork is just incredible. And I think a lot of people, including myself, I'll be honest, often don't think about the art enough. I pick up these releases and I love watching them. I love exploring the special features, and I appreciate the art, but I think sometimes I don't take enough time to actually really appreciate it. But I've really taken time to look at Tony Stella's work, and he just adds an extra level to what you purchase. Fantastic stuff.
A masterclass, kind of up there for me, alongside Kung Fu Bob, who I think is another one who's so ridiculously passionate about the movies that he does covers for, that it always shines through. And Bob's kind of love really was, or is, kind of Hong Kong cinema and martial arts and Kung Fu. Tony was more kind of Japanese and little bits and pieces of other stuff. So he would absolutely be able to dive into different countries, but Japan was where his heart was, really. So his covers for Japanese cinema releases just exceptional. Yeah,
I wanted to ask you on that real quick, Dragon. In your interview, when he said, I have more Japanese posters than maybe anyone in the world, and he said he has 200, but some people haven't seen them. So he would just do posters for the movies he loved, even if they weren't like commissioned. Is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
So he would just like have his own personal collection.
Going way back to when, like, if he taped something off TV, or if someone gave him a VHS tape, he'd make a cover for it when he was a kid. So he'd been kind of doing this his whole life, even when he wasn't paid to do it. So he had like literally, decades worth of stuff. And I think the large formats, because he was not doing stuff postage stamp size. A lot of the time, these were massive, big canvases and stuff. And I think Jason, sometime when I remember, I'll send you like a link to all the stuff he did for Rocky, because he speaks a bit about getting his. It wasn't on my interview. I think it was on one of the guys' podcasts, but he speaks about desperately trying to get he had a little daughter, and desperately trying to get her into stuff. And weirdly, the one thing that she really connected with was the Rocky movies. She absolutely adored. And so he's done like loads of artwork for all the different Rocky movies.
I'd love to see that.
That's just beautiful.
His frame of reference, I think you said he grew up in Europe, but his frame of reference when he's talking about what he's watching on television in your interview, Thundercats, all these American shows. I was like, was he in New York City for a while or something? It was.
I think he's been to New York. He kind of went to New York to try and kind of peddle his craft, and I think didn't do that well on his initial trip. But he lived in Japan for a while, and he was just one of these dudes that kind of traveled. But in Europe, we got all of those.
Oh, you guys got all those too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, so I think we shall get back to the task at hand. But yeah, R.I.P. Tony.
Absolutely.
I don't know what he would have thought about Iron Monkey. I suspect from his point of view, there would have only been one Iron Monkey, and it would have been the Chen Quan Tai version.
Are you sure it wouldn't be that? I think it was a 1955 one as well, wasn't there?
Possibly,
a 1955 Iron Monkey.
Yeah.
But our one that we're covering today, we have two little synopses. The always ropey Google actually does not bad this time around. It says a vigilante attempts to help the people of a corrupt town while being chased by Wong Kai-ying. Things take a turn when the two have to team up against Hing Hong, a Shaolin traitor.
Decent.
On the other hand, IMDb, this tickles me for no reason because it is accurate, but it says a martial artist / doctor steals from the corrupt authorities as a mass thief to give to the poor, while another martial artist / doctor is forced to hunt him down. But a major threat unites them as a powerful and traitorous Shaolin monk takes over the authorities, which is pretty accurate. But doesn't mention the fact that this is kind of a Wong Fei-hung movie. It's sort of.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do have Wong Fei-hung in this film, which we'll get into. But yeah, that's my synopsis.
Lovely.
To you.
Yeah, I think back in the day, when I'll get into my story actually briefly about this film and my kind of history about it. When I first got this film, I had no idea it was a Wong Fei-hung film, or it had a Wong Fei-hung element to it. But I had watched, Once Upon a Time in China, Once Upon a Time in China 2, so on and so forth, and a bunch of Wong Fei-hung movies. I don't know when I came to this one exactly. Not entirely sure. It was kind of in the middle of the 90s, where I was just picking up a lot of kind of new wave wire fu stuff. And I picked this film up, and I fucking hated it. I did not like this film at all. One reason and one reason only: I just couldn't stomach the undercranking. As a kid, I hated it. There's only one film in my teenage mind. There's only one film more egregious than this film when it comes to undercranking, and no one talks about this film, but it's Blades of Fury, the Sammo Hung film.
I thought you were going to say Tai Chi Master or Twin Warriors, because that's up there.
Tai Chi Master does also a horrendous job with the undercranking. But if you watch Blade of Fury, Sammo Hung's film, it's absolutely ludicrous. It's beyond comical. And I really didn't like those films. But fast forward over the years, and I've picked this up multiple times. I've had it on VHS, I've had it on DVD, and of course I've had it on Blu-ray. Should it get a 4K release, I will ultimately pick it up on 4K. But over the years, I've had like a wobbly relationship with it, in that sometimes I'm really in the mood and sometimes I'm not in the mood. Sometimes I hate the undercranking. Sometimes I'm like, okay, that's fine. And recently, I actually covered this film for my podcast, the Food for Thought podcast, and we didn't love it. We were kind of not a fan of the undercranking still. And this just goes to show how often I flip-flop, because I watched it this time and I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved watching it this time. I could gush about this film genuinely for hours. I think there's something that's so quintessentially, and I'm going to put this in quotations, kung fu about this film. Like it's such a kung fu movie in every way, shape, or form, but it is new wave. It is, it's got the wire fu, it's got the choreography, it's got the familiar faces in it. And I don't know, I think at the end of the day, it's a very simple film. There's not a lot of bells and whistles to this film, other than the choreography and other than kind of some of no one talks about the stunt work in this film as well. There's some crazy stunts in this film. But I just, watching it, I took everything in this time around. I absorbed it all, and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I've got no, I would go even, do I say this? Yeah, okay, I'm going to say it. I think it might even be better than Drunken Master 2.
Wow.
I'll go on record for saying that. I think
every month, man.
Well, actually, let me have a slight caveat. I think Iron Monkey is a better overall film than Drunken Master 2. Drunken Master 2's fight sequences may be more elaborate, maybe more enjoyable than Iron Monkey, but I prefer Iron Monkey as a film. Love
but
it.
Before this watch, it wouldn't even be close to Drunken Master 2 for you. I mean, you flip-flopped, I guess, kind of.
Honestly,
like you said.
I came out of this one. I came out of this watch and I was like, well, that's the best film ever. It's not going to get better than that. I was very, very like, I don't know. I just feel like I really indulged while watching this film. I really just took it all in. Love the characters. I love that it's Hong Kong Batman. That's basically all it is. Or Robin Hood.
I'm so happy you said that because.
Oh, absolutely. It's a comic book film. This film is a massive comic book film. It's a superhero who, is a bit like Robin Hood or Green Arrow even. And he is, essentially stealing from the rich, giving to the poor and having a few fights along the way. And I can't argue with it. I love the finale. I love everything about it. So before I gush any further, let's get your guys' opinions. I'm going. One of you's going to turn around and say this is the shittest film I've ever seen.
No, that's not what
Jason.
I'm laughing.
Oh, Jason, let's get your opinion. How did you feel about Iron Monkey, and how do you feel about Iron Monkey?
Yeah, so people listening to the intro, if this is your first time hearing the Mic'd Avengers podcast, I'll just say I am a big fan of old school kung fu movies, as we all are. And there was a point where I just slowly weren't into the newer ones as they came out. There was a couple, like as it got to the 90s, I was picking my spots. And when it got to the early 2000s, my cutoff point was kind of, I believe it was House of Flying Daggers. I was blown away. I loved it. It was kind of like a bookend. And it's a pretty big bookend, like 1967 to 2004. I can hang in there all day. But afterwards, I really just picked my spots. It wasn't always blown away from what I was seeing. And Shaun famously laughed when I said I saw Karate Kid in the theater, Jackie Chan's movie, and then I saw Kung Fu Hustle. Those are one of the two. So, and I did really enjoy the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan and Kung Fu Hustle, but it just, I don't know, it was kind of a strange period for me. I guess I just wasn't, I kind of just had a, rejection towards a lot of the newer modern films, which we've discussed on the podcast. So this kind of got lumped into, there was also a lot of hype around this. And we've talked about when the hype is so strong. I had coworkers, ex-girlfriends like would type me, oh, have you seen Iron Monkey and stuff? And it was there was so much hype going around. And I kind of sometimes have a little bit of pushback on hype, kind of, when it's just so revved up. Shaun did a post saying you were trying to avoid a lot of the Furious clips and he kind of caved a little bit. I've not watched one clip. I've not watched one fight scene. I just want to go in, just taking it all in.
Good for you.
That's
amazing. The fact that you can do that, that's really good.
I'm saying, once I see it coming up my timeline, I scroll super fast.
I cave like a bitch.
Oh, trust me. There's talk of shout out to Stella again. Sadly, that was his favorite movie, Conan the Barbarian, and Dragon sent me that podcast and I listened to it. I loved it. It's my favorite movie of all time. But they're talking about a new Conan the Barbarian. If all I need to see in the theater is just coming this date, I'm never going to look at a clip. Anyone says it. So. This going back to the Iron Monkey hype, I almost just wanted to wait, like, okay, I'll check it out on my own time, and everyone kept mentioning, oh, you guys see Iron Monkey? And I was like, okay. So I finally watched it. I'm pretty sure it might have been the Miramax version because it would be before Eureka and these newer wave came, like Shout and all that. And I did like it. It reminded me of Twin Warriors a lot, which I do like, aka the original title, Tai Chi Master with Jet Li. And the vibe I get a lot is sometimes I feel these movies really can play to the masses. If you were going to, like, let's say you were going to watch a display of two Kung Fu experts do like a Shaolin Kung Fu thing right in front of you, right? And it was going to be like a grounded, like in-person display. But someone said, hey, we got another group over here and they're doing wires and we're going to have fireworks at the end or something. I think the masses who might just want to go see that because you're going to get the kung fu, but you're also going to get all this flash.
It's a show, right? It's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle. But sometimes that's why sometimes that issue is it was pulling me out. And you might want to call it, I wouldn't want to just call it try hard because sometimes that has such a negative, it just has so many bells and whistles that sometimes it just, instead of thinking, wow, look at that display or look at the beauty of it, my brain goes, oh, look at that wire work or look at how the director framed this, which is a nice thing to think, but it's taking me out a little bit. It's breaking the fourth wall and I'm thinking of the behind the scenes because of what I'm seeing. So pretty much I was taken out sometimes. I do like the story. I'm a sucker I love that early 90s where like the sunlight's coming in, in an indoor set. So that Golden Harvest has such a nice glow. I don't know what you would call that. But with the better cameras in that period really captured a lot of great things. And I did like it. I enjoyed it back then. On the rewatch this time, now this we're going to get into something we're going to talk about later, the Miramax version versus, the true versions of it. But the undercranking, like Shaun said, just pulled me out a lot.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I had to wait for the undercranking to go down. Like there's a part where they're on the roof. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. Like it's whenever Donnie Yen, he's fighting against the guys, I guess in the scene where they're bullying his son with the rocks, I believe, or something. And I think he fights the fathers or whatever, the uncles come out or something. That scene, it had really ramped up sound effects and just so undercranked that it just pulled me out instantly. Then Donnie, it was like, here's what I thought. I thought, wow, that could impress some people, I'm sure, you know what I mean? But it wasn't impressing me in that moment, which is kind of not what you want to be thinking. And then it got on the roof and it was a one-on-one and it just worked. It was cool. It was like still undercranked, but my point is the undercranking you should wonder if there's undercranking and just think the guys are doing amazing. When it's like an actor in the movie almost, it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel there's a point of no return with undercranking. And I feel like all the directors, Soy Hark, all the producers and everyone felt this peer pressure that if you suddenly went back a little bit to like a Shaw Brothers speed, it would be like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they were all pushed to be up at this like speed. Otherwise you weren't living up. This is like a theory I had watching it. So that pulled me out a lot. Sometimes though it worked. When you have Phi Lee, I guess the witch character in the white, I liked her being all undercranked because she's this weird thing that comes in like a Sonic the Hedgehog character. And I thought that was pretty cool. That worked for her. I didn't want her to slow down. It's just, man, I start to glaze over a bit when I just see that. It made me kind of pine for the Raid 2 and stuff where I had issue with some of their camera, but they're not all like undercranked. This is them just doing it, in the Raid 2. So it's just kind of that weird period where the wire foo was through the roof. The undercranking is just like click, 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 click. And that pulled me out a bit. But that being said, I did really enjoy it on the rewatch. It hit me really good. I thought the acting was excellent. I thought, my brain was doing weird things. I was wondering, like, I wonder if Donnie Yen was Iron Monkey and he switched with the other, doctor, how that would have worked out. And I see Dragon shaking his head, but I wondered that. But I think it was well cast. I think I love how the Iron Monkey had that Batman effect. His Bruce Wayne mode when he's in the doctor was just perfect, and just in everything. And I was surprised when I went to do the commentary yesterday on the second listen that the Wong Fei Hung is a female playing the character. I did not know that, and they
only time. I think, to my knowledge, the only time that's happened.
Yes,
but we should stress that she's not like in the movie. It's not like this is my daughter, Wong Fei Hung.
Like, did I say it wrong? I said female. I mean a female actor. That's what.
Yeah. No, but just to clarify for those people that kind of maybe aren't are thinking what gender swap, but no, she was cast because she was incredibly good at martial arts, but she looked like a little boy at that age. Like I think she was 14 when they made the movie, which is fucking wild. Because she's incredible. Yeah.
So good.
She went on to be a police officer.
Oh wow!
I did not know that.
Yeah, she
Holy
didn't
shit.
star in any more roles, and she actually went on to be a police officer. Yeah. There's pictures of her online, I believe, in her uniform that you can find.
Interesting.
As a real life, yes, madam situation.
yeah.
But yeah, so rewatch, I loved it. I would say it's a modern classic. I would say, but strangely, I feel it's a modern classic maybe for the masses more, maybe not for me as much. I feel like it's excellent. It's really good. It's just, I don't know. I guess it's the undercranking that's pulling me out, to be honest. It's just, I feel that kind of, which is strange because Yuen Woo Ping, when I saw The Matrix, when I first saw Keanu Reeves going in that scene, my brain was going, man, they should have undercranked this. It seems so slow to me and awkward. And like, I just thought that was pulling me out of The Matrix because I do believe the undercranking, it was like of its time. It definitely went down by the time you got there. But so I'll just say when I saw Donnie Yen on a TV show doing his display, I've posted it on my Instagram. This dude does not need to be undercranked. He is so blindingly fast, like Jet Li. It's like, this is unnecessary. And that's the point. Keanu Reeves, let's give him a little boost, and I know he was injured or something too. I guess like he was injured doing that. There's some
a wee bit, but have you ever watched side by side the dojo sequence from The Matrix when he's basically after his I know Kung Fu and when they go into the dojo for the first fight? If you ever watch
that's the one I'm talking about.
If you watch that side by side with the fight between Chin Siu Ho and Jet Li from Fist of Legend, because that's basically I can only imagine they showed the actors that sequence from Fist of Legend and said,
"Oh, it's almost like move for move."
Almost, yeah. But there's maybe 20% of the moves that are in the Fist of Legend version in the Matrix. Like they've massively simplified the choreography, and then added some real nifty shit that they couldn't have done. Like they didn't have access to Sonic's cameras, so like the running up the post and the super slow motion back, and Morpheus's big like kind of. I don't know if it's an eagle jump, but when he jumps up with his legs crouched and his arms to
it's
the
crane
side,
kick.
yeah, all that sort of stuff. Not in it.
Like Kill Bill, it gets better though. When I first saw the first fight scene in Kill Bill, I think it's in a kitchen or something in the theater. It felt like slow and weird to me. I was like, oh, this isn't right. But then the movie moved and it got much better. Same with Keanu. It's like an initial like growing pain, but then it seemed to like it found its footing or something as it went on. But
I feel he didn't really come into his own until John Wick, really. Like, I think he was great. I love the first Matrix movie, but I just wish they'd kept it going. Like, if they'd not lent into, we're going to do 100 CGI Smiths, and we're going to make it like
I didn't like 2 and 3. I only like the first
2 and 3. There's bits of 2 and 3 that I do like, but overall, the films are just
I like
his fight with Colin Chow in the sort of little kind of wee tea shop in, I can't remember if that's 2 or is that 2 or is that 3? I think it's maybe
2.
That's great. That's like the best sort of kind of traditional scene in that sequence. But the rest of the other stuff just lent too much into effects. But
wasn't Colin Chow meant to be Jet Li?
Yes, it was.
I think Jet Li was meant to be cast in
and
that
Jet Li
role,
went off to do the one instead.
Yeah. Poor bastard.
There's bits of that I love. I love when you see all the driving licenses of all the different incarnations.
Oh yeah, he's got fucking dreadlocks.
Yep.
I like a lot of people like the one. We should do that. We should do that film one day.
Yeah,
we should do it.
We joked about Cradle to the Grave too. I mean,
it's interesting how many people love the one, and I just don't see it. Like I just don't get it.
With it a lot. I like it because of the fact that it has Jason Statham when he still had hair.
I know, incredible. Yeah, Jesus. What's your journey with the film, Dragon? How did you get into, or how did you discover Iron Monkey, and how do you feel these days after watching it recently?
I'm excited to tell you, but before I do, we're going to have a guest appearance, a random guest appearance from Shaun in the past. Because when I was doing research this morning, one of the things I absolutely adore about you, Fu, is that you're the quintessential essence of Bruce Lee's philosophy. Like, there's no other thing that is be water, my friends, than your opinion on movies, because it shifts so wildly over the years.
Oh, I know.
So I want to take you back to yourself from 2014 on the Kung Fu Fandom
no!
Oh, that's awesome.
Speaking about this very movie, where you said this is June the 21st, so we're almost like a month short. June
just after my birthday,
2014, which shows you how long we've been on the Kung Fu Fandom forum for. And you said back then, I've always disliked just how over the top some of the fight scenes are, especially the fight against the monks. Regarding it being the best of all time, it's nowhere near. I don't think it would be in my top 50.
There you go. There you go.
That's classic, Shaun.
It's funny as I like this. I have to say, like on this podcast, none of this is the joke. I'm not doing this to get like views or likes or anything. This is just literally how
it's authentic.
Films.
I love it.
It just ebbs and flows.
You're not wed to your own opinions, which is it's a beautiful thing. So you'll kill your own perspective without a second thought, like it's killed your dog.
Yeah, it's also why I want to wedge Big Trouble in Little China someday into this podcast, because I'm curious if we could sway you on it.
Get onto the Carter Long train.
Yes. Well, it's not even like us swaying you; it's just the rewatch swaying you. Because I think for the pod, because I could tell how you said you settled in, you're looking at all the things, and taking it all in. But yeah, no, I really respect that. That happens to me a lot too, because sometimes, like, especially when you love something so much when you're super young and you go watch it, it's like, oh, and it usually comes down to the acting, because when you're young, the acting kind of can be horrible, and it doesn't feel that much different when you're like 5 or 6,
absolutely. That's 10 years ago as well. So I was
Dragon, that was
30s.
Cool. What inspired you? Did you think, like, can I find some of Fu's reviews?
No, I just stumbled upon it by accident.
Oh, you stumbled on it. That's great.
Like searching for Iron Monkey or something?
Well, it's what we're going to get to a bit later on when we speak about the Miramax versus the Hong Kong cut. So I was doing some checking to just basically kind of get some facts right in my head, and went onto the Iron Monkey thread that's on there. And just as I was scrolling down, I was like, oh, okay, I'll keep that one up. But for me, I had the weirdest way into this, because like the very first glimpse of it that I saw was in 1997 when BBC did a thing called Kung Fu Night, and they screened a bunch of movies in widescreen. So they screened like Enter the Dragon, and I think they screened The Prodigal Son and King Hu's Touch of Zen, I think.
Yeah, sounds right.
And there was a couple of documentaries that they'd made, one which is really good, one that was just fluff by the comedian Alexi Sale, but there was one when they went to Hong Kong, and you see an incredibly young Jude Poyer in it, which I adore, speaking about his work, because he was still working as a stuntman there at that point. And there's a bunch of clips and interviews with Donnie Yen, and as the sent one to the guys just before we started recording, because it tickled me a lot. But there's a couple of clips of Iron Monkey in that, which was the first time that I saw it, and I remember thinking, what the fuck is that? Because it was like Donnie in a very traditional outfit, and I hadn't seen that before. All the stuff of him I'd seen at that point, I think, was all kind of more contemporary set, maybe with the exception of like Once Upon a Time in China 2. When does he show up? He's in 2, right? And it wasn't until a few years later that the DVD came out, and I don't think I ever had it on VHS, and I think the first DVD came out 2001. So that was like the first time that I got a chance to kind of see it, and I definitely kind of feel the same about the undercranking in the 90s generally, but I can always remember this and Fist of Legend being the kind of two exceptions for me. I think a lot of my love for it just came from being so happy to see Sao Ho again. Like in a movie that, like in a post-Shaw Brothers world, it's like, yes, he's getting some work, thank fuck. You can pay the rent that month. So I really love his turn, and I kind of feel that the storyline of it I really enjoy. I think, I don't think Donnie Yen was ever up for the part of Iron Monkey, because I think he saw it, and he sort of alludes to this in the interviews on the disc. He saw this as the closest he was going to get to play Wong Fei-hung, and he speaks about saying he played the role as if he was playing Wong Fei-hung, basically, and tried to kind of bizarrely tried to keep it more grounded and less wire worky, right? Which is wild when you think of how effects heavy the movie is. But in terms of the choreography that he's doing, a lot of it is his take on Hun Kun, on kind of like on Hung Gar-fist, and it's really interesting.
Which I didn't see. I saw that interview, and in the film, I noticed Crane Fist, but I never really noticed the time. Apart from when he does that a little bit, but I never really noticed his translation, I guess, of Hung Gar. But then when I went back to watch the clips, I was like, oh, I kind of get it now. I kind of see what he was going for. So that's very interesting.
Is that then with a whole bunch of crazy Donnie Yen that era kicks. In that Kung Fu Night documentary from BBC Two, there's a wonderful little bit where he's speaking and explaining that he's broken down the cartilage in his body to such a degree that the only thing holding his shoulders, or only thing holding his arms into the socket is his muscle. And that was almost 30 years ago, and that man's still making movies and still can move pretty damn well. So I wonder if he's had
him and Jet Li can like compare medical records.
Jet Li went through the ringer a lot harder. I think Donnie Yen's managed to kind of stay in better health overall. But I really enjoyed it when I first saw it on DVD. This was a time when I was smoking an inordinate amount of weed, so I think this was watched with like a cadre of friends who I could kind of watch kung fu movies with at that point. And I can remember us not being too fazed by the undercranking, because just kind of everything was doing that at that era, and there were so many kind of not great martial arts movies that come out in the 90s that this kind of felt to me like one of the ones that was actually a little bit better. It kind of feels like a weird spiritual, I guess, like a stepchild or something to the Once Upon a Time in China movies. It kind of feels like a weird, almost like a weird prequel of sorts. Although
they called it a prequel a few times on those extras.
That fits, and I think I really like I think it's one of these sort of, there's kung fu movies that we all adore purely because of the action in them, and then there's some movies that we adore the story more than the action. I think Five Venoms fits into that camp for me. Like, I like the story of Five Venoms more than I like the action. I think there's better examples of the Venoms doing choreography, but this is one of the sort of rare times in the 90s where I enjoyed both elements equally. Like, I really, really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the interaction between Iron Monkey and between Donnie Yen, and I really like the ancillary characters a lot. Like, I kind of really like the girl who's helping Iron Monkey out a bunch, and I really like the young girl who's playing Wong Fei-hung. I think she's great. It does a really good job, because there's a whole bunch of scenes where it's just her carrying the movie for her scene. That's when she kind of goes out to try and like sell the pills to kind of raise money to kind of get back and see her dad again and stuff. And that stuff's just magical. Just a really, really kind of, that could drag if it wasn't such a charismatic kid actor. That could be one of these bits you're like, oh God, it's that kid scene. Okay, skip. But no, I kind of really, really enjoyed those. And again, on the rewatch, so my perspective on it didn't really change massively, but I saw a lot. I think I saw a lot more of it this time round, and I think the undercranking, I've seen it a bunch of times now that I think it doesn't jar anymore, where it kind of did a little bit back in the day, but it was in everything back in the day, so it didn't jar enough to make us not enjoy it. But this time round, I just sort of accepted that it's just feels like you're watching it on, like you're watching YouTube on half speed because the person's speaking too slow. So it just feels like you've cranked
or double speed. You mean then?
Yeah. Sorry, double speed. So yeah, I think my perspective's not changed wildly, but enjoyed it back then. Enjoyed it now. I don't think it's particularly changed in my estimation. I still prefer Fist of Legend over this in terms of like the kind of two best 90s Woo Ping joints for me. Fist of Legend I kind of feel works better overall as a movie. I kind of catch me on the right day, and I prefer Fist of Legend over Fist of Fury. I think it's kind of
you said that. Yeah,
I think I love Fist of Fury. It's my favorite. It's probably my favorite Bruce Lee movie from his true Hong Kong movies. Like Enter the Dragon's a separate thing because it's so wrapped up in nostalgia. But yeah, Fist of Legend I think I still enjoy over this, but this still remains one of my all-time favorite 90s Hong Kong movies.
Yeah, I think Woo Ping does something interesting in Iron Monkey, in that I think a lot of Woo Ping's earlier filmography has a lot of like Dean Sheck-like moments where it can get cringy and get awkward and be like, oh, I'm not really enjoying this bit of comedy. This is like dumb or whatever. But in Iron Monkey, the comedy is maybe not refined, but it's certainly less egregious and less obnoxious.
Yeah. And it's delivered by someone a lot more personal. But it's mostly all comes from Fox, right? And he's great.
Right. I think that's so interesting that like you look at the early 80s Yuen Clan stuff and it's bonkers. It's nuts. Iron Monkey still has that nuttiness to it. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, that comedy, that really kind of you either love it or hate it comedy is really lacking here. And I not lacking, but just vanished from this. And I really appreciate that. I think it's got good comedy in Iron Monkey.
It has that straightaway where I felt like it could have lost me there, where they have they come in and pretend they're the official and that whole sequence and all that. I felt me swaying a little bit, but it's actually really well done. And you want to see what's going on in that, And then
especially she really,
it's fun.
Jean Wang really, really sells that scene. She's got her little beard on and she's like, she's pretty wonderful. I mean, she's wonderful throughout this whole movie, but that scene in particular.
She didn't do much, though, did she?
No,
she didn't go on to do that much.
No, I don't think so. Let me kind of pull up her filmography.
I should be looking at it myself.
That's all right.
Wasn't she in a Once Upon a Time in China?
She was in parts 4 and 5. So she did part 4 before this. Then she did Iron Monkey. Then she did part 5. And aside from that, not a huge amount. She's in. She's in a couple of things leading up to 2001. Then took a massive break. Came back in 2013, 2015. There's nothing past that.
Oh, mostly she's in The East is Red, which we will see her on screen because that's getting a Blu-ray release soon, isn't it? East is Red, Swordsman.
Is it?
Well, the Swordsman box out just came out. A Swordsman box set just came out from Shout, and and I think East is Red is on it. I think. Yeah.
Who is the monk that does the King Kong punch?
Yen Shi Quan. Yen Shi Quan from Fearless Hyena. He's the bad guy in Fearless Hyena. Oh, right.
Like what I'm saying, that's his name. Okay, because I have four Shaolin monks here. Number 2, number 4. I'm trying to, the cast list.
The main bad guy, is Yen Shi Quan. He's been in a whole ton of stuff. I
love him in Fearless Hyena. And what is interesting about that is in a lot of Kung Fu movies, sometimes the final boss isn't as formidable, but they got to this point where they make him so invincible. It reminded me of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with Cheng Pei Pei, where they had her as Jade Fox, in Crouching Tiger. And I love when it almost feels like the shark in Jaws. It's like, how are we ever gonna, they weren't even talking about it that way. They're trying to save face, pretend they don't have their blood about to come in their mouth. Yeah. But this guy's this insane thing they have to conquer. And that really carried the end for me, because when Dragon talked about how Wong Fei Hung, that scene with whenever he's saving, I guess, the doctor's wife, when he's saving her in that scene, is it? They're both doctors.
It's not. I don't think it's his wife though, because there's a couple of moments where you wonder, because Donnie Yen's character is quite infatuated with her as well.
The cooking scene, I think
she's just someone that he saved from a life of prostitution. Basically, he kind of like I think there'd been an incident where she'd killed somebody. Yeah, and she was going to get kind of basically heavily punished by the guys that ran the brothel.
They should get married. It seems like it, maybe. Like the vibe.
They were real sweet together. But I got the sense that it was more of a master and student relationship.
Okay.
So he was going to basically training her up, and she was the nurse to his doctor.
But that scene where he's saving her, she's like going out because they use that ether poison or powder, and I absolutely love that scene. And I'll ask you guys at the end. I'll kind of spoil mine. That might have been my favorite sequence because of the emotional aspect of it.
You mean the one with Wong Fei Hung saving her?
Yeah, when he's saving her, the emotional, you're like on the edge of your seat, because sometimes it gets to that point where I don't know if it always was in Hong Kong movies, but they stopped like killing off the heroes quite as much, as the Chang Cheh period. So I could see something happening to her, or you're really just hanging on, to what's going to happen.
Well, he does a really good job early on in that fight of showing the fact that this is a kid going up against grown men, so she cannot take a hit. Like basically, if she's trying to block it, she can stop herself getting hit in the face, but she can't block the blow without getting thrown backwards onto the ground. So it kind of massively up the stakes, where it's got to be like a flawless victory. She's got to like get through the whole fight without taking a hit and kind of be super creative. And I like that it's the pole sort of techniques that she'd been taught by Iron Monkey, and she's basically kind of using that. And it's just, that's a beautiful little sequence. Really, really
but that kind of trumped the ending a little bit for me. The ending reminded me of like if you're playing God of War and you're playing the game, and then it goes to a cut scene and they can bring in all this stuff. My head was like, and I did enjoy the ending, but I want to ask you guys on this. I'm usually okay with like subtitles. I feel like they need a new subtitle of this. It seemed a little delayed. And as I'm reading it, like, they didn't do a good job of like showing who was saying what, and it didn't come right as they were saying it. It was like slightly delayed. This is at least on my Shout version.
I watched on the Nova
I didn't
Media
feel
version.
that. Yeah,
okay, it must be my Shout version, because they'd be talking and then it would come a second later, and it wasn't like it made me actually go check out the English dub, because I know a lot of people do like that. Some people don't. And I actually thought that sounded well acted. It didn't sound like a generic one when I just dipped in just maybe for like 10 minutes or something. The acting seemed like they were like, it was subtle. It wasn't like, yes, Robert, come, or like, they just do something strange. It didn't have that effect. But I chose to go with the Cantonese on this one. And I did notice the mouths weren't lining up, so I researched it. And as usual, they had a lot of Mandarin actors, so they would just put the Cantonese. But it was recorded mainly in Cantonese, released in Cantonese. And I loved hearing the original voices. It's just sometimes there was so much, they're like naming each other's like move they're doing while it's happening. And it's just, there was so much reading going on. I'm usually okay with that. Like Dragon says, when people say, I can't handle the subtitles, I usually can hang with, this was like a frenzy of fire and all this stuff. He's like, oh, you're doing the Iron Fist. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, well, check this out. Like, I'm like, who's saying what? Like, it kind of got jumbled for me for a second, but I did enjoy that last fight scene. Man, that must have been hard to shoot. That's all over the place.
It's very tricksy. And I kind of got the sense that was Woo Ping being like, what would have really been great if I could have done it more in Once Upon a Time in China, set everything on fire. So it kind of felt to me like him kind of trying to like find a way of revisiting, because there's a couple of fights towards the kind of end of some of those movies that kind of had the same sort of energy, and it's difficult, I think, to top the spectacle.
It's funny you say that, because Yuen Woo Ping did an all fire film where he just basically every single stunt and every single action sequence is basically focused on fire. It's called Fire Dragon. It came out in 1994. Bridget Lin is in it, and Sandra and Max Bock. Honestly, if you get a chance to watch it, some of the stuff he does with fire in that film is, I think Bridget Lin never worked with Yuen Woo Ping again because she got burned on that film.
Wow,
I think that's right. Because it's crazy. So I think you're right. I think there was this thing in him where he was just like, I got this thing about fire that I wouldn't mind trying out. And he tests it in Iron Monkey a little bit.
He brings it back for Blades of the Guardians. There's a couple of phenomenal fights.
Absolutely.
Set around
Yeah,
fire
absolutely.
This makes the Drunken Master 2 finale seem a little tame on the fire side. This was like, and they're really kind of, it's funny because they kind of set the parameter of what's going to get them. Because in some movies, they would let the guy jump in that fire. He would just jump out. There's no problem. They kept referencing, oh, if we go down, you're going to be, so it kind of really set.
Like that game you played when you were kids that you couldn't step on the floor because the floor was lava.
Yeah, don't step on the floor.
Yeah. I mean, these guys could fly over an Empire State Building, but suddenly, oh my God, we can't go down there. But gave it a nail biting thing.
The only thing that threw me a little bit was like all of these guys could easily have jumped to the buildings surrounding. I don't know why they stayed on the poles. Like even when the poles were getting so diminished, the only point that it starts getting a little bit stupid for me is when they're both balanced on the same pole. So it's like
it's just teetering.
It's like okay, but I think at that point he's just the Yuen clan have always kind of been that way inclined, and I think his dad was that way inclined too. I was reading a bit about the old black and white Kwantak Hing Wong Fei Hung films, and at one point Yuen Su Tin was the main choreographer in those movies, and at certain other points it was Lau Gar Long's father, and I think there was apparently a big difference between the way that the two men would handle the choreography, where Yuen Su Tin was always more about like, let's make this more bombastic, so let's use everything at our disposal to make this more exciting, whether it's trampolines or wires or reverse shots or all the stuff that we think of as being the tricks of Kung Fu cinema is very much a Yuen clan style, right? They have no. I think they're more concerned with how can we make this the most exciting, the most dynamic that we possibly can.
Absolutely.
The Lau Gar Long school was very much how can I make this as grounded as possible and honor the martial arts, and then Samo's kind of somewhere in the middle.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe based on when the movie he made was released, kind of, because the one that Shaun was talking about, you think has the most undercranking was the Samo one, but he kind of has periods where it's not. That should maybe bring us to our next point of something that I
think you're right.
Beautiful.
So as we were about to do our episode, I was trying to just look at some different versions, and I was trying to see what the difference is on the Miramax release overseen by Tarantino and these, Blu-ray releases that are kind of the original Hong Kong versions, pure to what those were. And as I was reading, I stumbled upon it saying that Quentin Tarantino, what I had read is he universally, for every fight scene, lowered the speed, which I was surprised to see. So I was like, oh man, I got to see. And I went and looked at my DVDs. I don't have the Iron Monkey DVD. So then I went on to YouTube and started typing in Miramax version. And I found this, and I saw the credits in the description. If anyone wants to look for this, it's I think movieclips.com, or Movieclips is the YouTube channel. Yeah. And it says it's from the Miramax version. And instantly it looked how I wanted it to be. It was fast, snappy, but it wasn't just like, it didn't seem like, sped up, obviously. And it hit, everything felt more powerful. And I might, because I have a bias towards less undercranking, might have been like, overlaying, but no, I don't know. I really felt that watching it just felt perfect. And now I kind of want to order this. I want to order this Miramax version. I don't know if it's going to have the original language. They're kind of, might be just straight in.
I think it does, because that clip that we watched is all in Chinese, right? It's with subtitles. So
good point. Good point. Yeah,
and I checked the kind of the old Blu-ray release info, and it definitely said that it had, but it said that the quality of the version they'd used from an audio quality point of view is not as good. Where it's like I don't think it's like that high quality source, but it does definitely have it on there. Though there's a lot of other cuts to the movie, so they've
comedy.
It's one of the ones that I think Miramax messed around with. Almost.
It said they changed all the sound effects to make them less like the video game sounding punches.
Out a lot of the even though we just literally just got done saying that the comedy beats aren't that egregious, they cut a lot of those out because they felt they were too egregious. So I think they took out a lot of those sort of moments and made the film, I think, about six minutes shorter.
I think, Shaun, you had read it a minute ago. Would you say 4 minutes or 5 minutes? I thought you saw it before we went on.
I think the site that I was on, I think it said like 5 minutes or something like that.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But so I had sent that clip to you guys. How did you feel seeing that? Now, I think we've all said the undercranking, like, I don't know.
It felt like it dated better, like it aged better. because I think at this point we've kind of come full circle back to being, we're in this real weird place with choreography now where they don't really do a huge amount of speed ramping. Occasionally they'll slow stuff down for certain kind of points of impact, so you see it.
Or like take out a frame. They'll like take out a frame so a punch goes from here to like here quicker and it looks more snappy.
Yeah.
The old 70s, like Mystery of Chess Boxing has that in it. The guy suddenly like,
Just, yeah.
But, and so weirdly, it kind of felt more contemporary than watching the original Hong Kong cut. It kind of, and I too, I'm also can like see if I can track down that Miramax Blu-ray just to kind of see, because I think it'd be really interesting to kind of watch the whole versions. Basically, I suspect that the Hong Kong version will feel like the better movie, but the fights might well be more well served by not being so undercranked.
Yeah, Shaun, how did that seem to fix it for you, seeing that scene?
No, I'm a purist.
Interesting.
I want the undercranked version through and through.
Cool.
I didn't like the slowed down version at all.
Really?
I thought it felt soft, and I thought it felt Crouching Tigery. It felt floaty to me. It felt like gentler and floaty. And I didn't love that too much. And I think Yuen Woo Ping, when he undercranks things, he understands the rhythm, the speed of the rhythm of the fight just works. Rewatching the Miramax ones, and it's slightly slowed down, the rhythm felt slightly off to me. So would I like to see the Miramax version? Absolutely. I would love to sit down and watch it. Don't get me wrong.
You might still grab it. You might grab that.
I might. If I saw it for cheap, I would pick it up and watch it. But at the end of the day, I put my hands or put my eyes in Yuen Woo Ping's hands, and I trust that man with my life.
Well, yeah, I think it. We all love music. On this, like I'd say, equally to film. I know all of us how we feel about. So I like to do references. Like whenever Metallica put out "Injustice for All," they removed all the bass, and there's a lot of reasons why. And it's Jason Newsted on bass. And so what a lot of fans did is they added the bass in. Some fans found the I think it was the Guitar Hero version, so they they could get the stems, and they made one called Injustice for Jason and one called "And Jason for All." I think so. They changed like the title of it, and fans actually gave it to him, and it sounds really good. It actually has the bass in, but I think I lean more towards you on that. This is what it is, and even Jason Newsted, they asked him. He's like, "Yeah, fans gave it to me, and I appreciate it, but this is what it was."
Right?
This is what it is. And if you'll let me go with like a music or another music metaphor, what it was for me with the undercranking is, I love Black Sabbath, the creators of heavy metal. I think they're so heavy. When I first heard Black Sabbath on a record, it scared me. I like wanted to run out of the room. That's the song Black Sabbath. It just with the rain and the riff, and it gets to a point where it's so heavy, right? You have a certain amount of distortion, like the Kinks kind of like really brought in distortion, and Metallica, took it to this really high level. But you get to a level where you're like, man, that is heavy. This is so heavy. So some other bands will, like black metal bands, are like, we're going to get a Mesa Boogie that has a 5th gain knob. We're going to crank that up. And the drums are like triggered, but it starts sounding like they're played with chopsticks or something. And we're going to go on stage like black metal band. We're going to put this white on and black, it is a turning point where it turns in on itself. And suddenly it's not heavy at all anymore. It's almost like, it just sounds like this little buzzing bee going around you. And if you suddenly go back and put on the 1970 Black Sabbath debut album, it's like boom, like this doom metal that'll just crush this. My point in all this is that's the problem with the undercranking. I think the thought sometimes is that we're going to speed it up and it's going to really like, the effect is going to be heavier and it's going to hit harder and it's going to be faster, but it kind of can turn in on itself. That's the issue I had with the undercranking. You know what I mean? It loses that effect that when you go back to the older style, it hits harder. You think of the actual practitioners in it, And so, cause I thought about that, I was like, this reminds me of like heavy bands when they try to get really, really heavy, but it loses that effect a bit,
That's a good way to point it.
Yeah, that's kind of like.
I think also part of the problem is you kind of inadvertently sort of touched on earlier. Like Donnie Yen's so fast that Donnie Yen, when he's undercranked,
that's all you think of. It's like ridiculous.
I think you end up not. I mean, you see on subsequent rewatches, but you really have to pay attention to kind of what he's doing, because if he's jumping and kicking a dude 4 times in the air, those are going by in the blink of an eye. Where I think if there was a little bit more time and space to kind of appreciate what he was doing.
Right.
But ultimately, it's kind of really interesting that we've kind of got these different versions of it floating around that can offer a little bit kind of more of a slightly different flavor. But I think Miramax famously were the absolute worst in terms of the most disrespectful for buying a movie because for some reason they saw something in it, but then deciding or having no faith in it and thinking, no, we can fix this.
Yeah,
going in and cutting the shit out of it.
I know.
Usually
Legend
with
of Drunken
Tarantino
Master.
involved.
Yeah, which is weird because, well, I guess he likes to remix a bit. But if you love these movies so much, and I guess also because they have a bottom line too, I think they knew what's going to like get the audience in America, or at least they thought they knew. But well, actually, these did really well. I mean, I don't know about The Legend of Drunken Master. I think that because I was in the theater for all those Jackie movies as they came on. I was doing, of course, started with Rumble in the Bronx, then got to think Super Cop, and then I saw First Strike. Then I saw what's the one that Sammo directed? Mr. Nice Guy. But I don't think when they got Legend of Drunken Master, I don't think it had the theater release. It might have. I would have went and saw that. But once I finally saw that, and I had relatives saying, "Oh, I'm on Comcast On Demand. I just watched this Legend of Drunken Master, and wow!" And I'm just like, "Oh, you got to see the other version." Something about it. I especially felt it had missed sounds. Like it had a new sounds to the hits, but some sounds weren't there, which was strange. It had a whole different soundtrack. Oh, that's the other thing on Iron Monkey. Because of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, how big of a hit that was, they completely stripped out the soundtrack and apparently put in some sort of orchestral soundtrack on this Iron Monkey. So
that might be quite interesting to hear, because that's the other thing that shows its age a little bit, where it's a very synthesized soundtrack. And in places it feels there's a and this is no disrespect to the musicians who made it, it's just of its time, that there's a cheapness to the sound of 90s synths in particular, and like a 90s sound modules.
Black Mask's soundtrack has the worst soundtrack and score of any film.
And I think it's such a shame, because if it'd still been when we were in the analog days, then I think there would have been a bit more oomph to it. If you had a more like Warrior style, like kind of electronic soundtrack, but like analog, grimy electronic, like that you kind of get in a lot of, because a lot of Hong Kong movies did kind of use them. They would just steal bits and pieces from Tangerine Dream or from wherever, like the Cirrus Project, and I think those kind of cuts always kind of feel a little bit better. And you kind of miss the flagrant copyright violations of the 70s and once we get into the 90s, because they were sort of not doing needle drops. I really get a big kick out of when they would just cut in part of the Rocky soundtrack, or like Shaft playing in a Jimmy Wang Yu movie, and those sort of
a lot of James Bond. Of James Bond.
Huge,
especially Bruceploitation will take that all day and night. And it's funny, I'll be watching a weird like 70s thriller or something sometime. I'm like, oh my God, that's where Five Elements Ninjas, that some weird, the intro music and stuff. It's not as blatant, but it's funny when you hear it in the actual movie, and it's like, whoa.
Well, that could have been, so much of that was de-wolf cuts, so it could have just been other movies also using the same library music, because all that de-wolf music was all kind of library music.
That was their royalty free in a way. That was their
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Dragon, it's funny you said the synth. If you'll allow me one more music thing on Guns N' Roses, when they did November Rain, for some odd reason they used a synth. All the orchestras, Axl Rose playing that on a keyboard. So when they did they were doing like a Use Your Illusion reissue, and they decided to only just redo November Rain when they put it out. So it's called the 2022 version. They brought in an enormous orchestra on November Rain, which is cool to hear. But I think something that we're feeling whenever things are altered, I still kind of was missing the kind of, I don't think it's crappy. It works good in there. It's strange they chose that with the budgets they had back in the early 90s and your Guns N' Roses to just do the synth. But yeah, it was cool. It's cool to hear it. It is realistic. All the sounds in November Rain are all just like this. You could tell it's like an enormous piece orchestra. So you wonder sometimes, like, I wouldn't say like careful what you wish for, but sometimes when you think something would be so much better, you're so attached to the original that you're like, oh, I'm just going to stick with this, And I think that's what I'm kind of feeling towards. You guys know I want that Second Sight Blair Witch so bad. I want to get that. But I wonder, because I'm so used to my little Blu-ray that just has the 35 millimeter across the board, that second sight version, each time their camera that they're holding changes to go to the actual, I don't know if it changes the aspect ratio, but at least goes to that.
I think it does in places when they go to to their 16mm camera. I think it switches into widescreen when they're kind of using the little video cameras. I think it's 4:3, and yeah.
I'm curious how I'll feel on that. Or Shaun, you said you liked it better, right? A little bit.
I from what I've seen, I haven't watched the whole film yet.
Okay.
So ever since owning it, I still haven't watched. I mean, I've seen it before, but I haven't seen this version. But from what I have seen, I like it as a cool little addition. I don't think it's enough to break the film, really, not enough to really take me out of it. So I kind of appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, tampering's interesting. It's kind of, but that's the thing. A lot of people don't even know what's going on. People that are talking about Iron Monkey in America, especially, they're raving. They just know this, So sometimes I wonder if you gave this upcoming version of Drunken Master 2 to someone who loves Legend of Drunken Master, and that you did say that has Jackie's voice as an option. So maybe you could get a little closer on the dub.
Not on the Hong Kong cut though.
Okay.
It's on the US cut.
Yeah, that makes sense, because sometimes people don't want to do that where it's going to have to go back to a different language, and that's the theatrical. Yeah, because of the Miramax cuts, it's going to have the sections where I guess Jackie wouldn't even have to speak over it. So.
Yeah. Give them 10 years and they'll be remastering movies with AI, and they'll start doing all kinds of funky shit to the films that we watch. Did you see?
It's already started. Fight Club.
Well, yeah. Yuen Woo Ping recently got a Lifetime Achievement Award in Hong Kong. And did you see the video they showed? It was an AI version of his dad, Jason, Yun Shu Chin, presenting the award to him. And it was very awkward. Yeah, I don't know how he felt about it, but me watching it, I was just like, oh, this isn't cool. This is cheap.
Well, I will say, was it on an award show you're saying or something?
It was an award show, yeah.
Okay.
It was the Hong Kong Film Awards, I believe.
Yeah, there's a little of course I'm cool with AI on tools and to an extent, but and there's other things where I give it a pass, like with when Val Kilmer died, he said he wrote, you guys can please finish this with my likeness, and the Academy Awards around that time made a rule that an AI actor can't get an award, which probably is a good thing, because the AI people were
trash.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Kilmer film looks fucking awful.
Yeah, I didn't even I didn't even check it yet, but I respect that. It may be the awards thing that's pulling your heartstrings that a dad could give the award, but it didn't happen. Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings.
It was all good. He was in his Drunken Master outfit as well.
Oh no! Okay, you've ruined it. Okay, I never scratch that.
It was shitty, to say the least.
Did you guys, when looking at this, I was surprised there was 4. Because when I was seeing this guy I didn't know who he was at first, but when he was talking about his father from Drunken Master, I'm sorry, what's his name again? Right. When he was talking about his father, I was like, wait, I thought Yuen Woo Ping would have just straight across the board done the choreography. But then I looked, there was 4. It's like a mixture of, I guess, Yuen Woo Ping, the action director, and then you have, they all have the roles below it. I thought that was a good interview, and we're probably going to have a laugh about the other interview of Donnie in here. But I thought that was a good interview. He had some nice insights and really just he was talking about the frames and the ideas of the styles. I thought that was really neat. And it was kind of seemed delegated that they each had their own roles, of how they were going to break up the fights.
I'm not too sure if that one's on my. I'll have to double check and see if that's on my disc. I don't know if that's on the. I think most of the extras that we watched have all come from the old Hong Kong Legends Platinum Edition DVD, which had this 5 hours worth of extras on it.
This Shout version seemed to, how as it goes on, they'll funnel the legacy in. Yeah, when you go to the extras, it is long. It's like a big screen of tons of
taking them all. I think that there's only interviews with the actress that plays Wong Fei Hung, with the main actor, with Donnie Yen, and I think that might be it on the Korean release. I'll have to double check.
Yeah, so I watched that.
Like the Young Clan really worked on this. The whole Young Clan seems to have worked on this one, through and through.
Did you get to check out that interview, Fu?
I didn't. I watched some of the one with Yun Chung Yan, the one, the guy who's recently passed away, Yuen Woo Ping's brother. I watched some of that, but I didn't watch all of that one.
Well, so as I was watching that, and then Dragon made a little comment about the Donnie Yen, so I went to that. I was like, oh man, it starts out like a glamour shot's him doing poses and putting on this, And I'm a big fan of Oasis, and I've actually met Liam Gallagher. It was a great talking to him. It was an amazing moment. Or we talked for a long time in a hotel, and this makes Liam Gallagher seem like humble almost. This interview, I mean, every moment he uses his opportunity to up himself, which is strange. I didn't know. And I think Fu touched on this as more maybe a period. I don't know if he's more humble now. I suddenly was like, wow, even when they're trying to give props to the actor, he's like, oh, well, I was the one actually trying to do Wong Fei Hong. And even when they're saying about a scene, he's like, well, for me, he basically said, because I'm so good in that scene, that's probably why it comes across. And then it almost made the director sound like a secondary. It just,
he says he doesn't need storyboards as well. It's like, I don't need storyboards. I'll just do it.
It was almost
Robert High School of Publicity.
Oh my God, Robert was probably off camera, like doing a double thumbs up. Like this was like an SNL skit. If Donnie Yen went on SNL, said, "Hey, we want you to do like a Zoolander, like or something." Like I mean, I think the sunglasses were going to his head too. The colored sunglasses. Oh, it was such a character of a guy that moved to Hollywood, and it just all went to his head. Every single thing was upping how great he was. Wow. I mean, you guys might have seen more Donnie Yen. Is he known to be that way, or there's just a bad period?
He's known. No, he's known to have one hell of an ego. I think more so back in the day than now, but even now, he's known for having quite the ego.
I think it's tempered a little bit. The stories that I've heard is it can be quite difficult to get him to come to international. Like if you want to screen something and get him in for a Q&A, because you're not just paying for the flight for Donnie. You're paying for Donnie, you're paying for his hairdresser, his makeup artist, his costumer. Like he
did look kind of like
back in the
glossy.
day.
He looked like he had makeup.
Yeah.
Oh,
now is he known for being like trouble and like causing
I don't
issues
think
on
so.
set?
I think he just has that, in some ways, that kind of old school big superstar vibe to him. And I think I do get the sense that it's calmed down a little bit in more recent years, as I think since he's started becoming a director more himself.
I think it slowed down also after he ruined Vincent Zhao's career and got him kicked off Special ID. Apparently there was a falling. I don't know the whole story. I know that Donnie Yen butted heads with Vincent Zhao on the set of Special ID. Next minute, Vincent Zhao was no longer on Special ID, and Vincent Zhao has gone on to have a pretty shitty career, which is such a shame. And I think after that, because a lot of news articles hit the web that were just like egotist, Donnie Yen, blah blah, and like talked a lot of shit about him. So he may have calmed down after that a little bit.
Were you guys cracking up watching this though? Like, was this?
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. He's one step away
watch
from flexing. He's actually doing the like that. He's crazy. He's crazy. I love it. I love how much of an egotist he is, because while I do think he's amazing, and I do think he's made some incredible films, like he definitely. His ego just doesn't match what he's done. And don't get me wrong, he's a legend. He'll always be a legend, but no one should have an ego that big. That's just crazy. Yeah. I get it though. I get it. Here's a question. Do you prefer Donnie Yen in a period setting, or do you prefer him in a modern setting? The reason I asked this is because I saw some people online discussing his this is actually me just looking up some Iron Monkey stuff. And I saw some people saying, well, no, his Tiger Cage 2 and in the Line of Duty 4 era was far better than anything he did in a period setting. Would you agree with that? Or do you like his... But then again, his period films are few and far between. Like you were saying earlier, Dragon.
I think...
Especially in this era, yeah.
I really think Ip Man is like made for him. I think that is just so perfect. Yeah. The first one. Yeah. Especially, I think, but there's different period pieces. There's ones with the tails, and there's period pieces like Ip Man. There's different, but I just think that was just like almost, he was so great for that. He fit into that amazingly. I love that. And
that's a good point.
I have to go see watch like Flashpoint, some of those different ones.
Because like Dragon, the film Dragon is one of his period ones. It's fantastic. It's such a good film. And then no one talks about his 90s period film, Hero Among Heroes, where he plays Beggar So and does like the drunken fist at the end. No one talks about that film because it's never had a remaster and it always looks like trash wherever you go. But that's actually a semi-decent film. It's actually okay. So I like his period work. But which one, sorry?
Seven Swords. Which is early 2000s. Yeah.
Oh, we need a remaster of that. Why hasn't that got a decent Blu-ray
great
release?
Little small cameo in Hero as well. He's not in it for long, but he's
yeah.
Very, very true.
So you guys are leaning towards the traditional with him, or
I can go both ways. Like he is one of these dudes where, ego aside, he's always pretty watchable. So I think in a lot of the contemporary movies of the 90s, he was more often than not playing a bit of a dick in the Tiger Cage and the Line of Duty movies. He's kind of a bit of a dick's maybe a bit harsh. He's very cocky and arrogant usually, and quite abrasive to the other people around him as his character in those movies. And he tends to be a little bit more likable, playing more likable characters in the period pieces, or playing, is likable the wrong word? Maybe more like traditionally heroic or noble characters, where he's a little bit more anti-hero in the. But I can go both ways. Like I think he was always just and still is a really exciting person to watch in movies. Like he definitely has a great screen presence, and his martial arts stuff is he's done a pretty good job of always filtering everything through a lens of his own style. So he never really feels like he's doing, and Shaun, you mentioned this a bit earlier, when it's almost hard to spot that he's kind of doing a more traditional version of his own style in Iron Monkey, because it still very much feels like you're watching kind of Donnie Yen fight, and his kicking's so unreal, and his kicking's not really so different to the Casanova Wongs and to the Wang. It's like it doesn't really ever look like Korean kicking style. Like it's always his own thing.
It's like chambered kind of. It's not because when you talk of Casanova Wong or Sun Chen, they sometimes get into that like karate stance a bit. And the chambered from Kung Fu kind of comes in from like their bodies don't always move into a stance. So it's like Johnny Yen can be like going upwards, and then he'll do like 3 kicks from his body, almost like being stationary kind of. It's like, and I'll say for how he has his own style, he will bring in some modern styles. On Flashpoint has some awesome jujitsu on that roof scene. It's great. That's like a nice MMA fight, has a lot of arm bars and
kind of the first, really. I mean, they did
one of them,
experimented with bits and pieces in SPL, but really it was Flashpoint when they kind of found their.
Still some people's favorite fight of all time, that one. It's a lot of people will say the Flashpoint fight is, or like the big one at the end, is like one of the single best fight scenes of all time. And to be honest, I find it difficult to argue against that. It might not be my personal favorite, but if someone said, I think that's the best fight ever, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Because it is incredibly
filmed
good.
really well, and it keeps moving. And
I really love Wu Jing and Donnie and SPL. That's kind of maybe one of my favorite fights from that era.
Everyone loves that
although
fight.
It's very brief.
Such a good one. Yeah.
It's almost like a little. We spoke about. I'm getting slight deja vu to our Warriors 2 episode. There's a great first, instead of it being like a full stop at the end of the fight, which we see with Casanova Wong in Warriors 2. There's a really beautiful leaping reverse kick that starts that fight with Wu Jing. It's beautiful. That kind of like comes right at the very, very beginning.
Do you guys have
done some good stuff? Sorry, go ahead.
A favorite scene? I think I said mine already. Just the one with Wong Fei Hong, when we'll say she, but when she takes on all of them, that has the most emotional weight for me. That scene, and you're waiting for something, and I knew it was going to be her come in, and she flies in from this like she was just laying up there. So who knows what was going on? Just came in and saves the day. That really
interesting. My favorite. I think. On you go.
No, go ahead. Mine's really stupid. So you please go ahead.
Mine is the kind of fake out when the two of the main villains, kind of henchman Sao Ho and what's that other girl's name, Li Fai, are masquerading as somebody who's in desperate need of help, and so Iron Monkey turns up to help them, and then it's like a fake switch. It's not the longest fight, but I really like that section, which is the one that Jason, you sent us at a different speed. But yeah, I'll always if there's ever an option to pick Sao Ho, I'll pick Sao Ho. Because I love that kid so much. I still think he's like kind of just one of the greatest and most underappreciated kind of martial arts performers, particularly acrobatic performers. He deserves to be up there and thought of in the same way as Yuen Woo and Yuen Biao, as being one of the real incredible kind of acrobats of Hong Kong cinema of that era. And he still gets to do a little. He busts out a few little somersaults in places. And I kind of like him having a slightly different look. He's kind of got his scars and his crazy whiskers, and I think that's probably my favorite one of the film.
not to tarnish that, but in that interview with the action choreographer talking about Sao Ho, they go through everyone. He's given all these backstories. He goes, he wasn't very sociable. He was like, he wouldn't come to a party. He wouldn't do anything. He would just leave.
Oh.
And he goes, and he said something a little disparaging, not too
crippling social anxiety.
Oh, he did.
He does.
He's known for that. Oh. Well, that answers that. He said something like, he's like, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything to say. And they kind of just moved on to the next actor. He just had nothing to add. Yeah. Like,
that's a shame.
I've heard there was a couple of people who wanted to try and interview him fairly recently. And he kind of agreed to do it, but there was only one particular restaurant that he would agree to go to because it's one of the few places that he feels safe and comfortable outside of his house. Yeah. Oh, okay. He kind of has, like, for whatever reason, I think he's just always kind of had quite bad social anxiety, which is a real shame because he's incredible.
Yeah, that's sad. Fu, what was your favorite scene?
I think I could pick any one of the fight scenes. Honestly, I think it's too easy for me to just pick any fight. But one of my favorite moments in the film is actually when the doctor and his assistant go back and all the papers go up in the air and they go and capture all the papers.
So good.
I love that bit just because it's so unnecessary. It's not needed for the plot, but it reveals just how skilled they are. And then I have a feeling that waft of his outfit that brings the paper up and he catches it, I don't know how many takes that took, but I like to think it was probably one that took like 40, 50 takes. And I really like that. I always love those special moments in when they do something, and I'm just like, I guarantee that took loads of takes. I like that. So just a little moment like that where it shows off some, martial artistry, but kind of in a light setting, and it's a little bit of a character development. I don't know. I just like that moment.
Yeah, that reminded you could see the inspiration. I mean, as it kept moving along, but you could see the inspiration build up to Crouching Tiger because a lot of that, how they're moving. And that's the moments where the wire, it's happening, but it doesn't matter. It's like a beautiful wuxia-esque, like, I don't know, like two birds like speaking up in the air or something.
Actually, I wonder how many of these films that have Yuen Woo Ping's name on them as a fight choreographer, how many of them are actually Yuen Clan? Right, The Matrix, for example, is that just Yuen Woo Ping doing all the choreography on that, or is the Yuen Clan entirely involved as well? And
he had a squad, but it was a weird international squad. So, for the first Matrix, I don't know. By the time that you get to 2 and 3, I think stuff gets real loosey goosey, and I'm not even convinced that Woo Ping was back for.
Right.
I think he was probably there for the prep because I'm sure I've seen behind the scenes footage from 2, and I think he was still there. But I think certainly for the first one, there was Woo Ping, and then he basically had to divvy up different people to kind of handle looking after the training of the different actors. So Dion Lam, I think, was there, and Tiger Chen was there. So which is why Tiger Chen got promoted into being on camera by the time that they got to the fight with the Merovingian. He's like one of the Merovingian's guys at the Chateau fight in 2, I think.
In 2.
I think it's in 2. And Tiger Chen, I think, worked the most closely with Keanu Reeves because they became real tight. So when Tiger Chen wanted to make a film, Keanu was like, "Okay, I'll direct the film and I'll help you write it." and so basically, Man of Tai Chi basically kind of came out of that relationship,
that film's good. I stand by that.
Man
film
of Tai Chi is great, and it's really underrated. It's really great, and I think it's super impressive that he was able to kind of do that in mainland China. It's like for a Westerner to kind of go in there and direct that type of film there at that point in history is no small achievement, right? Keanu Reeves is just he's a god amongst men, really. He's an incredible.
Tiger Chen was going to be the next big thing as well. We a lot of us thought Tiger Chen was going to be the shit. He was on he did a lot on Kill Bill as well. Tiger Chen. There's footage and he was Uma Thurman stunt double, which is crazy. But like when Tiger Chen started doing more things, I was like, oh, this guy's really got it. And then he did those like time traveler movies and a lot of straight to streaming stuff, and it all went bad, unfortunately.
A little bit. I still a lot of time for Triple Threat. I think like Triple Threat's got a real. I really love that kind of the bromance between him and Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais in that movie is something that I like a lot, and it's always nice fun seeing Scott Adkins playing a villain because he can really loves it.
He plays it well. He plays it well. And Scott Adkins. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying they said Gene Wang when that choreographer's doing that interview was saying the other doctor with him. She didn't have experience with martial arts. That she had a stunt double after she would do the initial anything. It was like a stunt double immediately, and then back to her doing like a finishing thing. Just
makes sense.
Yeah, so that's
great. She beautiful as well in this movie.
Oh,
she's
she really is. She's really an eye opener.
When that guy was saying in the interview there for a second, I thought he was talking about the witch in the white. I was like, oh no, I want that to be like, oh yeah.
Who played her?
That's Li Fai.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you, this is a confusing cast list for the monks. It's like monk 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm trying to figure out who the like King Kong monk is into that punch.
There's an extra on my disc where you see the girl that played Wong Fei Hung, and you see Li Fai at like a wuxia tournament, both kind of doing their stuff like in tournament, and they're kind of both.
I gotta check that.
Yeah,
Li Fai was in Angel Terminators too, so she's a badass.
I feel like she kind of steals the show a little bit. I really got Jade Fox vibes coming in from Crouching Tiger, just a scary, menacing. And I did think that monk was amazing. The way they had that, like, did you guys ever see that in another thing, the King Kong punch, or was that kind of tailored for this movie? I've never heard of that.
I think it was a Western bullshit. It felt.
It's not always called that though. I don't know what.
I mean, I've seen like a million times like the Iron Palm or something where the blood comes up later, and these of course it's not a real thing, like Shaun saying. It's like a
like fictional... King Kong wasn't around back then. So it can't be a real style. Right.
Yeah, it was just
King Kong
it was thinking about it, King Kong was like 30s or whatever, right?
But I'm saying in
the period of the movie,
King Kong existed, but in the period of the movie, had not existed.
Good point.
I suspect I need to check. I should have thought to check with my wife, because I suspect the original. That's not what they're saying in Cantonese. I am convinced they're not saying King Kong. They're probably saying some sort of variation on Buddha's palm. I would have thought, but I need to double check.
Yeah, maybe not you guys, but I think this is due for like a new subtitling. At least my version. Maybe I have to grab the other. There was a lot of kind of issues on mine.
We'll get on 4K.
We'll see what happens.
I'm sure.
Eureka put it out here, and Shout in the States, and Nova Media in Korea, and I think it's had a bunch of different releases in different parts of Europe as well. But so far, to my knowledge, there is no 4K version of it, and that would be real interesting to see if it gets picked up for 4K. I can imagine it being maybe around the time when the Kane movie drops, then we might see kind of some newer versions of some of his older movies.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that. Let's hope we get Iron Monkey 2 as well, right, fellas? Does anyone remember Iron Monkey 2? No one talks about it because it's so trash.
They made.
I read about it for this, but it said it's unrelated or something. It's like
talk about undercranking. Yeah, it's unrelated, and Yuen Woo Ping just goes, "Let's take the undercranking up to 11."
Oh no!
The film is a fucking nightmare. It's awful. I only ever owned it on VHS. I haven't owned it since, but it's such a bad film.
Apparently, there's 2 new Iron Monkey movies, like 2020 sort of time, 2020 and maybe 2021.
With Cheng Kwan Tai, one of them had Cheng Kwan Tai come back.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I need to check the cast list.
I watched an Iron Monkey type film where Cheng Kwan Tai was the teacher teaching a guy and a girl monkey fist. But it was straight to streaming in China, and I don't really remember if it was quote unquote Iron Monkey or not.
They were definitely straight to streaming. I don't see Cheng Kwan Tai's name.
Oh, I could be wrong then.
Unless he came back for the second, because they're both made in 2020. But yeah, both definitely straight to streaming. I think the next kind of good monkey movie for me that is definitely in need of a Blu-ray release is Lau Kar-leung's Drunken Monkey, which kind of came like just a bit over 10 years later, so like 2004, I think. And I like that movie a lot, but it's fun. It's a fun film. Yeah, we definitely need that one. There's a few films like that are kind of floating out there that haven't got the remaster that we want them to have. So hopefully, And one thing we didn't really mention is that there's absolutely no monkey boxing in this Iron Monkey movie. Oh.
Well, there's a little. Do you know where there's a little in the moment when they're trying to get everyone who has anything to do with Monkey? I mean, this is very,
you're right.
very minimal.
You're right.
They found one guy just for 5 seconds. Like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Because he's acting like a monkey. Yeah, you're right.
But,
yeah.
But to be called Iron Monkey, I guess it's just more his little like piece of paper and his symbol. You know, like the.
I think so. Like his Robin Hood thing, right?
100%. Yeah. It's kind of like bandit
signal
people. Yeah.
The Batman. I'm happy you mentioned that, Shaun, because I had that written down to mention when I was going to say my observations. It really has that.
He's got the
Batman-esque.
gadgets. He's got the smoke pellets and the things that stick in your feet and all kinds of stuff.
It has that rooting, like the audience, like thank you, and that's a mixture of the Robin Hood. He's just like giving them food and giving them all these different elements.
He's down caltrops at one point as well. He's got like little sharp.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Trick.
Yeah, it's great, and I also love. Speaking of the witch or the whatever we want to call her demise with the eye and through the sword.
So good.
Chef's kiss. So good.
So good.
So good. Yeah, Woo Ping definitely knows how to do interesting things. His mind, the way his mind thinks, is just great. All respect to him, an absolute legend, and still doing it. And hopefully we'll get a chance to do Blades of the Guardians on here at some point.
Oh, we have to. But the fact that he's still pulling that out at age 80 is phenomenal, and also weirdly making it more grounded. There's a lot less wire work overall in Blades of the Guardians. It's remarkably restrained.
It's really exciting. Yeah, the legends are still. We still got They're currently filming Twilight of the Warriors 2, right? Yeah, the prequel or sequel or whatever it is.
Yeah, this one's the sequel. Then after they finish this, if all goes well, they'll do a prequel as well.
Is Kenji on board for both of them? Do we know?
Yeah, Kenji's. I've seen pictures of Kenji scouting locations at the moment with Soi-chan.
Beautiful.
And Daniel Wu has joined the cast. Which is great to see because I like him a lot too. I kind of feel it's been.
He plays a good villain.
He does.
He plays a very good villain. There's a film called. Did you ever watch that Caught in Time or Caught? Was it Caught in Time with Daniel Wu? It was like a heist movie.
Huh.
It was out a few years ago. I'm looking. Caught in Time. Yeah, 2020. That's actually a really good film that he did. No one watched it, and it came out on one of those weird like buy to order, those Blu-rays where you just order them, then so it came out on one of those a while ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I picked it up. It was a really good film, like a thriller, not really a kung fu film or anything, just like a heist thriller, but he was excellent in it. Really dodgy hair in it, proper weird haircut, but it's fun.
He's got a buzz cut for Twilight of the Warriors. He's looking pretty dope.
Good. So it'll be good to see him.
Like the first couple of seasons of Into the Badlands are great. Like I think
I stand by it. First few seasons, good, and then it goes off the rails slightly.
A little bit. Yeah. Jason is just nodding at us. I was like, okay, this is all in my future at some point.
You got all this to come, baby.
Oh yeah, I've had people recommend Into the Badlands a lot, so that's on the list. But Twilight, I've been holding off on that for an intervention. I do want to watch that, so hopefully we'll get that up soon. Because when you guys are originally mapping it out, like. Because now I'm kind of free. I can go watch a random Korean and stuff, but I know there's big high points though. Like I got to hold off for, because
it's like me when I was young, when I was a young guy, when I was a young lad, and I went into my mum and dad's room, and I went into my dad's closet or cupboard, and I found all my dad's porn, and I was just like, I have so much to watch, so little time. What? And that's you now. You've got all this good stuff in front of you. By the way, my dad did not have that much porn. I'm implying like he had an absolute library of porn. He did not. But it was that. It's like, oh my god, so much.
I know. For a second, a picture of the back room of a video store. We go through the.
I was thinking about the closet in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, as a follow-up to that story, my mum and dad divorced shortly after.
They're like, he won't leave the room now, Jack.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's not coming out. Anyway, should we go ahead and wrap it up here, fellas? Have we said all we want to say on Iron Monkey?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, so much for listening. We really, really, really appreciate you coming along on this journey with us. Of course, we have many, many, many episodes to come. You can already hear the gears on our heads slowly turning when we're talking about numerous movies. So we'll see what we have in store in the future. And of course, we have many more. Oh my God, I've forgotten the name of the episodes that we. Interventions. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. We have intervention episodes coming up where, if you're not familiar with the podcast, we have Jason watch a film he has not seen before. And who knows, there may be intervention episodes for me and Dragon in the future.
Yeah.
All that said, thank you, everyone. Really appreciate you. You can follow me online or at Foo for Thought. Just throw it into a search engine or into Instagram. You'll find me. Jason, where can they catch you?
Yeah, on YouTube, I have all of our YouTubes in our description of the podcast.
Wonderful.
So anyone wants to go in, and on Instagram as well, Martial Arts Theater 3000.
And Dragon, are you the Fanatical Dragon across platforms?
Pretty much, I am. And two little things to shout out. One is that thank you to everyone for listening, because we just had a little mini milestone. We just passed, Jason backed me up on figures, we just passed 5,000
Yes. Yeah, and it's
which is huge.
5,000.
10,000 total.
Yeah.
It is 10,000 total.
Yeah, YouTube music and podcasts have completely different metrics. They don't touch each other at all. So for all the podcasts, we've passed 5,000 and almost 6,000 on the YouTube music /podcast.
Amazing.
So guys, we're blown away. Thank you so much, everyone that's listened and wrote and everything.
Yeah.
Truly, it means the world to us. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Yes,
so.
that's not a testament to our content. It's testament to our audience, coming along with us. We talk absolute twaddle, but we appreciate you all joining us on the ride.
And very selfishly, I'm also going to throw out, because I'm a little bit worried that it's not going to sell as well as I think it should, but I've got a tiny little piece in 88's UK only release of Heroes 2, which is just about to kind of street. I wrote a little bit for the article. I wrote a little article for the booklet, and after a few 88 Shaw Brothers releases that kind of came out a little bit bare bones, this is at the other end of the spectrum. So if people had looked at it and been like, I don't need to double dip, this one you really do. There's 3 commentary tracks on there, a brand new one by Frank, who's joined by somebody whose name escapes me at the moment. There's also the old Lynn Hayes commentary track, which they've resurrected from the US DVD, which is huge because Lynn Hayes no longer around.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, I haven't been on the Kung Fu fandom in a while. When it was called, I guess, Kung Fu Cinema back in the day. Yeah, Lynn Hayes won. Man, he was so great. He just had so much knowledge and helped everyone. Oh, yeah. And
legend.
He was just, and that's where I was on there all the time. I'm going to return because I love forums. I love that, versus social media. It's more, I just like it a lot. But that Lynn Hayes, man, that really hit, as you guys know, hit hard when he passed away in a car accident, RIP. Yeah. That was sad. And that's so happy that legacy commentary of his kept going. He packs so much in. It's one of his commentaries, I believe, if I recall correctly, by the time it gets to the finale, he kind of says, all right, guys, so enjoy the end, because he just gave you so much info through the whole thing. Because some people keep talking to the end. He's kind of like, well, I'm jumping ship, just watch us fight, the finale of Heroes 2. But man, that really hurt. That was sad when he passed. And that's great of 88 to keep that going through the releases.
Yeah, I think it was Bob that I think pushed for it, because Bob is obviously the moderator on that forum, and I think he was the one that was like, you got to use this. They've also brought in the original short 3 Styles of the Hung Fist, which played before the movie originally at cinemas.
That's great.
And that's on there in like 4 different versions. I think there's a Mandarin and English version, and then a new Mandarin and a new English version. There's some stuff from Frederic Ambrosine's archives, some old interviews from Hong Kong. Tony Raines has recorded a piece. Bob's written something for the book. So Bob started this on. It's going to be an ongoing series where Bob is writing about specific kung fu styles. So obviously for this movie, he speaks about the crane style and the tiger style. And so kind of Bob's got a piece. And there's also Carl has a piece. Sorry, Carl, I'm forgetting your surname at the moment. About the origins and use of the Fong Sai-yuk character, which is the character that Alexander Fu Sheng plays in Heroes 2. And there's a poster as well, which they haven't done a poster for a little while.
Sounds great.
Bob's incredible.
It's on its way to me.
It's like 17 quid, so please.
And Dragon has a Chen Quan Tai piece.
Yeah, I wrote. Thank you. I wrote a piece about Chen Quan Tai. I think the Iron Man of Kung Fu Cinema. I think I called it.
Awesome.
It was great fun putting that together as well. So yes, I'm very, very grateful to be on that, and I would be extremely grateful to any of you that are thinking about picking it up if this does make you take the plunge, because it's well worth it.
Awesome. And also on top of that, just of all the features, it's a really good film.
It's a really good film.
Very, very, very good kung fu film.
We're going to have to do that one on here at some point.
First to the Shaolin cycle, right? The very, very first
Yeah,
one,
so
okay.
please, if you're thinking about not picking up, please do, because it's you're in for a treat. It's a great film. All right. Also, I'll just say one last thing. We are wrapping it up, I promise. I just want to say, if you do listen to the show and you do love the show, please think about giving us 5 stars or a review on any of the platforms that you listen to us on. It goes a long way. It gets us out into the world, and people kind of taking note of us and listen to us a little more. So we're in the algorithm if you rate us and write a review. So we'd really appreciate that. And on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you all once again, and we will catch you next episode.